80,000. He also authorized the use of the National Youth Service Corps camps as temporary training facilities for the recruits. So, a mass recruitment drive into the armed forces is what the president is calling and advocating for. Of course, there are lots of questions connected to that. Will that solve our problems? Is it easy to pull off at this time? All of the in-betweens connected to this conversation. My guest is Mr. Charles Inko Tariah. He is a security expert and consultant, and he joins me via the phone. Good day, Mr. Inko Tariah. Thank you for making the time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, and listeners.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
All right. So before we go to the call by the president, I'd like to get your perspective, your take on the waves of abductions, kidnappings, and variations of insecurity in the northern part of this country. What's your take?
Oh, well, it is not surprising and not something that is not expected, especially considering the position of the United States of America and the recent statement by the President of the United States of America. It's obvious that the terrorists may be using this series of kidnaps as human shield and also making heavy negotiations with the federal government from all indications. So it is obviously expected within this period. But how the government manage it and how the public manage it matters a lot. So these are key areas that we really need to look into.
Okay. Now, the president's call for mass recruitment into the armed forces. What's your position?
Recruitment to the armed forces is okay in terms of providing jobs for the jobless youths and so on. But it is not going to create any significant impact. And I'm sure the decision is as a result of some level of frustration and desperation on the part of the presidency to take such decisions. You know, yes, there is need for the government to look into the security architecture, rejig the security architecture, and integrate citizens into it. This is the time for the government to come up with a proper security reforms in terms of the architecture to accommodate citizens and to take firm control of the entire landmass of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I tell you, Sam, the landmass of the country, 995,000 square kilometers. Over 60% of it is ungoverned and in space that are not covered. These are the period for the government to go into proper profiling of our environment. And so if they need to reform the security, it has to be a non-kinetic approach, an approach that is designed to preempt crime and criminality, and not approach to combat criminality. The compact is becoming so tense and high. The entire environment is over militarized. We have 32 states out of 36 states having military operations. That is not acceptable. We're not in war. So using more of military deployment, it's not the answer to the present situation. We need to close the gap between the citizens and the security agents to identify the moves and the activities of the bandits and terrorists among the people. Because the terrorists use both human shields, community shields, and taking the advantage of the gap between the people and the security to operate. They are not spirit, they are human. They are just taking advantage, leveraging on the gap. So this is the time for the government to close the gap, to have more of preemptive security approach and identify any warning signs and signals and nip on the board to reduce the victims to casualties and citizens getting involved in crossfires and so on. So we are believing that government should look inward at this point. Government should look at how they can integrate citizens into the security structures and architecture. Government should come up with more robust plan and policies that are potent enough to close a synergy between security and the citizens. Now, by that, we mean, to break it down, we're looking at how citizens can have confidence in relating with the security to have real-time security intelligence for the security agents. Even if currently we have about less than 1 million security personnel, fine. They are far lower than the number of citizens. We are 230 million Nigerians. But we are saying that the 1 million security personnel would have been sufficient if there is enough real-time intelligence gathering and real-time intelligence information. They will be able to preempt this crime and criminality. Bandits procure into their locations. This is not acceptable. It is because they can pre-identify. It's also a harm-producing factory or harm dealers and so on. This would have been an information to preempt and to mop up this thing. So we are trying to see how physical contact can be reduced, in order to reduce the casualty rate that is on increase and victims to violence. The Nigerians are suffering. The northern Nigerians are suffering from the hands of these bandits and terrorists.
Okay.
So government should engage experts to come up with policies and plans that can vastly reduce this killing rate.
All right. Mr. Inko Tariah, a lot of what you've said, as valid as it is, to preempt and prevent, this is usually what happens before the fact. Right now, there are attacks across different communities and different schools. And the success rate of these attacks is somewhere around 80 to 90 something percent. With almost every attack, people are abducted. And so, I think that the government also understands that at this point, it requires desperate measures to at least contain these attacks. While we can prevent, like you said, and I completely agree with that, what does the government needs to do immediately to at least tackle the problem on its hands while trying to boost security architecture, get people and all of that? Some of these things are long-term plans. But for the immediate, what do they need to do right now?
For the immediate, government has to be sincere. For the first place, they have to be sincere and honest and demonstrate the political will to come and tame these people. The security agents have what it takes to tame them. But you see, there is no political will to implement these policies and these actions on ground. Situations where soldiers will be court-martialed for shooting or killing a terrorist. Situations where orders are not given for them to go for terrorists, even when they see and know where they are. You see, there is political will lacking and a lot of compromise within the system. So combating it is a bit difficult and complex because there are a lot of interest involved. So for the first time now, government has to come out very bold, firm enough, and give the relevant political will to combat the terrorists. And they shouldn't shy away from seeking support from the United States. They have what it takes. They have the potency. They have the confidence and courage to withstand and bring these people down. But while these things are going on, instead of immediately rushing to recruit police officers, recruit these, just to create security agents and so on, you are militarizing the zone. You keep the place highly tense. There will be tensions within the area. Communities is full of tension. People are running from one place to another. We need to come up with a better approach that will reduce this confrontation. We need to come up with a better approach that will preserve lives instead of allowing people to die before you bring in people, military options and so on. That is not working. It's analog. No part of the world takes all these things except Africa. So we need to come up with a more superior technologies, superior policies and plans, close the gap between the citizens and security. That is the key thing. This relationship will be anchored on technology and it can be done as quick as possible. We have been saying this in government don't care. They do security with patronage, political supporters and so on. So merit has no role in their security scenario, and that is why you see this problem keep occurring. These people are not spirits, they are human. They calculate, they lay ambush. That means they have monopoly over the community and the people. If they lay ambush, spend days, hours to wait for the army convoy to attack. They look for soft targets. They move freely in the communities, pack crowds, and move through the communities and so on. It's insulting. It is insulting to the Nigerian public and Nigerian people. As enlightened as we are, we cannot deploy relevant global changes in security approach.
All right.
This confrontation is wasting so much life around the community.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Tariah, for giving us the recommendations. We're hoping that the authorities listen and they get the will to pull it off. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a break now. When we return, you and I get to talk. What's your take on the call for mass recruitment by the president? Stay with us. Tariah Info, Sam Chinedu here. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday declared a national security emergency, ordering the army, police, and intelligence services to immediately expand recruitment and deploy thousands of additional personnel. He urged the National Assembly to initiate process of legalizing state police to tackle the escalating wave of kidnappings and terrorist attacks across the country. In a statement issued from the State House, the president directed the police to recruit 20,000 new officers, bringing the total planned intake to 50,000. Now, I spoke earlier with Mr. Charles Tariah, who is a security consultant, and he said this might not just yet be the time for that recruitment. While it is important, it's the list of many concerns. Other things need to be fixed with security, intelligence gathering, and renewing the hope and the faith of people in the system before you talk about adding people to that existing system. Of course, you get to tell me whether or not you agree with him. But my question is, what's your take on the mass recruitment? How appealing are the armed forces at this time? 20,000, 50,000. This, of course, will be made of young Nigerians. Are you willing to join the army or the Nigeria Police Force currently? Is there any appeal for you to be a part of our security forces? And the president urged the National Assembly to initiate the process of legalizing state police. Now, if we do get state police, would that be a better platform for you to defend your country? The numbers are called 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080 903 06416. Please turn off your radio as you call. My brother, it's not about mass recruitment, it's about deployment. We have enough. How many does his son move with? The government at all levels have failed and the masses should begin to defend themselves. Saken says on WhatsApp. Okay, Saken. Douglas is on the phone. Good evening, Douglas.
Thank you so much, Sammy.
Good evening.
Borrow your yesterday's line. You say if the Kwakrekwa would like to be recruited into the Nigerian army, I will ask 50,000. Like you said, it was 30,000 before, and then 50.
Yeah,
20.
it was 20 before.
50 for the police.
Yeah,
and then the military is not revealed yet. Now, I want to ask where this number will come from. 30,000, 50,000 youths and more. From this Nigerian population, these our youth that are so demoralized and so discouraged. It's somehow, I don't understand how possible this could be. You see, our people will say, Behano, Obehinama. Is it possible? Bring people. From this number, this congregation of youth that we have today, that are even ready to stage the protest against the government, I beg to differ. I don't think it will be possible.
Yeah, but Douglas, again, I agree with you that Nigerians are demoralized. But you know, we are the most populous black nation on earth.
We are now, and we also have the most populated, the most youthful population.
Yeah.
But considering the fact that this youthful population are very much demoralized and disappointed at the government, that at any wing of a protest, you see the most populated people in that protest will be the youth.
Yeah.
So which youth again will now want to be recruited? These youth are ready to stage the protest against the government. Will they be the ones to be recruited? Check out these people, the militants and the terrorists. They are mostly youths, very angry. So if you're recruiting, it will be risky to recruit this mass number of people who will be angry at the government that could stage the coup at any given opportunity. It's very risky. The number is too much.
All right, thank you.
There is still supposed to be a room for to silver it so that we don't make this thing very, very much risky again. You know?
All right, Douglas, thank you very much. Emeka calls from Elele. Good evening, Emeka.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My dear brother, about the recruitment, nobody is interested again.
Emeka, please turn off your radio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I said nobody is interested. They are only interested on giving youth a hard job to do. Some people are graduate for many years. How many times have they lived in Bago for employment? They know that they want to keep people now. That is the strategy to kill youth of Nigeria, to send them, to recruit them now in army and police. My dear brother, nobody will go. They should fight their fight and eat their money alone. They should send all the army, all the police to Sambisa Forest. And we have enough army and police. They should send them there. That Sambisa Forest is bigger than the whole West Africa. They should use that forest as starting farm. You're looking for how to produce, how to engage in mechanized farming. We can use the Sambisa Forest now to do that. So they should stop this from the youth and Nigeria youth. Nobody is interested in joining army. Do you know that statistics in fact, since 5 years, no rivers have joined army. They have singing the pages on radio and newspaper, pages of newspaper. Nobody is interested. They should go and fight. They should bring their children. The children should come back from abroad and join army. Not the poor people that is not benefiting anything from the government.
Okay. Thank you, Emeka. Muriel from Okrika. Good evening, Muriel.
Hello, Sammy. Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Okrika woman.
Go ahead.
Well, my opinion on this is that it is very scary now to call for a recruitment, both in the police, army, or just two for now. Because even if I have so much passion, I want to join the police, and there has been an outcry for a very long time. We have police. They say, is it 1 to 1,000, one police to 1,000 Nigerians, or even more? And yet you kept them. Even if you had, you haven't even taken their welfare you can't even take care of. Okay, let's even leave welfare. Now you're calling for a recruitment. For me, it will be like a suicide mission. Now that we're seeing police and the military, they are slaughtering them. We're not seeing any tangible thing you're doing, to ensure that you yourself, you're tackling those persons too, the terrorists. Now you want to recruit more of our sons and daughters to go and be sacrificed on the battlefield. Yeah, I call it going to sacrifice our children. Because what are you doing now? You just want to send them to the forest. You send them for interface terrorists that have power for more and than them. So trapped before they get them, when they are killing at this time, then you want to recruit freshers that don't even have a clue. But trust me, they will not be grounded in the job before they even send them out to the battlefield. And mostly it's our brothers here in the south that they will send them. Then when they conclude, then they will bring them here to come and enjoy. So trust me, for me, it's like a suicide mission, embarking on a suicide mission. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Muriel. In most parts of the world, it's an honor, even a privilege, to serve your country in defense capacity. We see players, Super Eagles players who play for different clubs. When they want to come and play for the Super Eagles, they use the word, like my colleague Kosi would say, it's an honor to serve the country. But going by the responses of a lot of callers, it obviously is almost dishonor at this point. Ifeanyi calls from Choba. Good evening, Ifeanyi.
Good evening, Honorable.
Good evening.
First of all, the truth is that that 50,000 or 20,000 Nigeria is looking for, they can get it.
Yeah, they can.
Nigeria does not end in Port Harcourt or Enugu and Lagos. Cross Kogi, Benin and all that, you see lots of youth, lots and lots of people unemployed in their productive age. And it's why most of the time it looks as if they are the people who are in the forces. Because once you go there at that time, somehow, I don't know, they like being in the forces.
Mm-hmm.
You see that 20,000 is easy to get just in the middle belt, not to talk of core northern Nigeria. But where is my worry? My worry is if only we knew, or if only the country thinks that it's like trying to recruit doctors. These are people that save lives. You see the process it takes to get a medical doctor, 6 years. See the training, I was thinking that's what it should be when you are recruiting people whose job is to protect life and property.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be a fire brigade thing. even when we are not under pressure. One day I was calling and I asked, have they even told us the process of recruiting security, most especially police people? Because even the ones that we have, we are not proud of them. That's the truth. We can't pretend about it. Our policemen, we are not proud of it. Imagine recruiting policemen under this pressure because the insecurity is there. What the proper vetting? Are these guys actually Nigerian? Are you sure you're not recruiting cultists? Are you sure you're not recruiting retired criminals? Then if they're coming from the north, are you sure you're not even recruiting bandits? Just yesterday, I think the former deputy speaker was saying, you can check this in your need, that the Nigerian police and military has recruited criminals, bandits and terrorists inside. This is not any other person saying former House of Rep deputy speaker. So my worry is not recruiting this, but recruiting people who are probably criminals. Imagine what it will do to the system. It's a fire brigade, I appreciate it, but I'm genuinely scared of the results we are going to get out of it.
All right. Thank you very much. I think if I raises valid concerns, you see, because there is a push to hit the 50,000 mark, some standards and protocols might be relaxed, right? We need every man we can get. So maybe the regular screening, maybe the things that normally would be checked might just be overlooked because we're trying to meet a quota. Also because in the scheme of desperate measures, we need to fight an active. What's what I'm looking for now? It will come to me. But Bennett from Elelewa is on the phone. Good evening, Bennett.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's still a honor recruiting young men and women to serve the nation. But first and foremost, I think the president and the presidency should be decisive concerning the insecurity.
Okay.
Because there are still plenty of unemployment in all our states. But a situation where people will be deployed and no better welfare will be taken and no major life securing assurance. That's what is actually the issue.
Yeah.
If the presidency becomes decisive concerning insecurity and it starting with the recruitment in the federal police and the military, the people will willingly want to defend their nation. That's my take, especially when people get hurt, like the military people that have been, taken away. What are the assurances for their family they left behind? Welfare.
Oh, that's valid. I actually know someone, right, who at this time, with everything happening, wants to join the police. I was around him, I think, a week or two ago. And because, of course, he knows that I work in media, I was like, bros, I beg, when police form, they come out. And I asked him, you want to join police? He said, yeah, so you don't wait since. I'm like, okay, that is quite something. I said, I'll check. I remember telling him that I was going to try to get that information. JJ calls from Rumibo.
Because I don't even have enough time to do that now. Thank you.
All right. Lawson calls from Yenagua. Good evening. Good evening.
I think people should speak for themselves. They should not speak for Nigerians.
Okay.
I tell you, if you just go make announcement, go to Adokia Simaka Stadium and say you're calling for people to come for police employment. I'm telling you, there will be a stampede in that place. Make no mistake about it. That's the level of unemployment that we have in this country. This country has one of the largest portion of unemployed youth. It was. It's not a joking matter now. A country is calling for recruit. I remember a lot of people, security experts, coming to say, recruit more put on the ground, more put on the ground. There are lots of ungoverned spaces. By the way, you forget the forest guard. that have already been recruited, that the president has already ordered the SSS to release them into the forest. So that is what a lot of people have been saying. I know it's just right. That's what they are saying. Suddenly now we have more military men, more men in the security agencies. It's strange, Nigerian. It looks bad. We don't want problems to be solved in this country. We speak most times from an affiliation point of view. So when we are speaking, there's a way we talk. We forget that this is our country, and at the end of the day, if it burns, it will burn. My father told me, I want to stop India in the war. When a lot of people were saying, oh, let there be war, then please give us guns, we want to fight. When the civil war started, a lot of Nigerians suffered. Even the ones that had no business with it. So people should be careful with the way they speak.
Okay. Thank you. Now, Lawson, hold on. Before you go, would you like to join? Oh, my. I was hoping to get his own response. Sam, personally, I don't have any problem with recruiting more security personnel, but the problem is, how is the welfare of those already in the armed forces? How is the morale of men already in uniform? I mean, the lower cadre that does the job. How many soldiers are properly accommodated in the barracks? How much is the salary of an average soldier? Sam, all I can tell you is that the government has not taken care of the security personnel they already have. Recruiting more soldiers will not change anything. You will only increase the number of disgruntled men in uniform that will end up taking their frustrations out on Nigerians. Sam, you cannot send a hungry man to fight bandits. Okay? You didn't give your name, but you gave your thoughts. And on Facebook, Chidima Blessing says, the mass recruitment is a welcome development, but it has to involve the politicians' children. Okay. In Israel, everybody is in the military. Let's try it in Nigeria. If not so, the members of the terrorist group will be many, more than the numbers of the citizens. Mazi Onyenucheya Stephen says. Emmanuel Wadike says, other African country presidents are supposed to learn from... Okay, that's not for this conversation. Let's keep going. Emmanuel Wadike says, this is what we expected before now. Doing it now means that he was pushed by the threat by Trump. Okay. Greetings, I'm Felix in Sekan. The declaration of state of emergency in the security sector and recruitment of more personnel would do little or nothing to arrest the security imbroglio we face in the country. What ends insecurity is sincere political will from leaders, not emergency declarations. As long as we keep shielding and negotiating with terrorists, the situation will keep compounding. The best solution is to allow the U.S. intervene while we support them with necessary information. The president is scared of offending the North. That's why he begs headers to stop carrying unlicensed arms instead of fighting them head on. He refuses to name the sponsors of these criminals and also refuses to ban open grazing. When we are sincere and drastic, we will overcome this menace. Felix and Sekan says. Gospel calls from Eche. Good evening, Gospel.
Oh, yeah, good evening, Falada.
It's Sam.
Oh, Sam Oracle, sorry.
No problem.
Let me tell you the hard truth. If they like, they employ 2 million officers, police and this one. It will not solve it. What do I mean by that? The problem is not number. The problem is commitment and the political will. There is crooked hand in this system of kidnapping and those that you may not understand it now. Many people may not understand what I'm saying. Because if it is a straight hand, many things will have been true. There are things that are underground that is working. It's not by number. You like, it's not by number. Let federal government come up. They can employ any of the foreign countries and say, please come and fight this insurgency and pay them the money that they've been paying for ransom. You will see that at next 3 months, you will not see any of this nonsense again. Government has not been sincere. Say US or China or any of those countries, please, how much will it take, either by oil or by money, and wipe up this nonsense in our country? They will tell you the money or by oil, the thing will go. But they are not doing it. They are not being sincere at all. And that is why. They like that ransom. Maybe people, something is happening there. People are getting something from the ransom. And they want to mean, when you bring all the good people for Nigeria, they become police. That thing that is worrying them, that leaking, if it is not closed, it will also be there. Thank you, God bless you. I want to go back from Akabesi.
All right, thank you very much, Gospar. We'll take messages as we wrap up. Good evening, Mr. Sam Oracle. President Tinubu asking National Assembly to legalize state police. I disagree with the president because Nigeria as a country is not mature enough to practice state police. Really? Governors insisting on state police so they can use the police to intimidate political opponents in their various states. Once again, state police is unacceptable, Owanete Clinton West says. And Mr. Mokie says the mass recruitment and state police issue are necessary. They will help in solving our security challenges to a very large extent. If they had done this a year ago, the situation wouldn't have deteriorated to what it is now. They should be fast about everything, Mr. Mokie says. Good day, Sam. Nigerian politicians should start by bringing their own children to be recruited in the police and the army. Onyishi Ejiofor from Mile 3 says. Good evening, Sam. I will not advise anybody to join the military because those ones that joined, how many insecurity crises have they countered or stopped in the country? They can even provide sophisticated arms. I'd rather stay jobless than join the military. Joseph from Omademe. Well, like Lawson said, I think everyone should speak for themselves. For me, state police is good, but my worry is that these governors may likely overuse the state police to undo opposition. Without this, I think state police can help reduce crime in the country. Christian Williams from Iboiche. It's about having the right legal framework, really. Firstly, he never ordered customs or immigration to recruit more youths, but we want the youth to massively join the army that would not be fully armed. That wouldn't be given the order to flush out the terrorists, even when their locations are known. The current soldiers are underpaid, and talk of their welfare is something very bad. The president should just think of something else. Omzi from Ruma Hall says, the recruitment into Nigeria Police Force is a welcome development. Some youths will have a job to do. Now, we've been crying of lack of employment, GC says on WhatsApp. This is my final call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, what's your name?
My name is John. I'm calling from Rumokoro.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. My contribution is that I think on this security issue, we need to make the critical thinking and critical questioning. For the past 15 years, successive governments cannot resolve this problem, and people are dying. And U.S. said they want to help us come and flush out the bandits, people who are killing us. Why is the president, if the president is not complicit, why is he refusing that? What kind of political gimmicks are they playing that you want to protect your integrity of the country and your people are dying? We don't have, even if they recruit 2,000 soldiers, our soldiers have been compromised. A lot of bandits among the soldiers, a lot of the terrorists among our security agencies, and so therefore we cannot win the war. See what they said about the general that was killed. Immediately he revealed his location. That was how he was trapped. And many other reports like that of soldiers being killed, being ambushed because of people revealing their location. So I want to say that critical thinking, we should ask ourselves, why can't the president, why can't he lower his guard and allow U.S. to come and help us destroy this bandit? They are not coming to take our oil. They are not coming to do anything. They are saying, those who are assuming they are saying, okay, Christian or Muslim, fine. Both of them are Nigerians. They are not saying they are coming to take over our leadership. They are coming to help us kill. At the moment they are killing those bandits, they are also killing those who are killing other Muslims. So if the president and the government are saying they don't want them to come, they want to do it by themselves, something is wrong somewhere. And I tell you, in the next 20 years, 30 years, we cannot resolve this problem.
All right, thank you very much. Now, for the record, the Nigerian government did not exactly reject the offer by the U.S., but they called for collaboration, which means you have to work with our forces, not take over completely. I also know that there were delegations sent to the US to talk about a plan or a strategy. We've not heard what came out of that deliberation, but we know that the position of government has not exactly been rejection. It has been, we can work together and make this work. But I also believe that if Nigerians can solve their own problems without needing external help, it's always a better deal. Because whether or not you like it, you're going to owe whoever is helping you something. So, that is what the government has said, and we'll have to hold them to their word. Hopefully, action aligns with intention. Well, thanks for being here. Our next conversation is also about security, but this time the Senate is asking for the death penalty for kidnappers. Do you think that will make a difference? Stay with us.